Good evening. I am Dr. KHALID ABDUL WAHHAB from Department of Architecture, College of Engineering, Al Nahrain University. My research is entitled The Potential of Using Natural Materials in Iraq in Producing Sustainable Buildings. Human growth impacts the Earth system in different ways, including increasing the extraction of resources from the natural environment. These resources include fossil fuel, minerals, etc. The process of removing resources in turn often releases pollutants and waste that reduce air and water quality and harm the earth, the health of human and alter natural environment. So we can see here the increasing world population. This increasing population will means that increasing need of built environment. The increasing built environment means increasing waste of building materials and different types that will affect the natural environment and will lead to the destruction of the natural environment. So today, modern building materials are produced and used globally without taking into account the nature of its local environment in which they are used and how it may damage its natural environment. Besides that, the rapid depletion of natural resources in addition leads to the loss of the local architecture identity, which we needed in our culture of architecture. Besides that, all these indicators contradict sustainability principles. This requires the research for new available cheap raw materials capable to preserve the local architecture identity and its distinctive character. This can be reached through using the natural local materials. Hence emerged the research problem related to the shortage of local clarity about the possibilities and the advantages of using available natural materials in Iraq as raw industrial materials for producing sustainable buildings and built environment. Research hypothesis supposes that by using natural abundant materials in Iraq will lead to a new kind of Iraqi healthy, sustainable buildings and built environment and will strengthen its culture and architecture identity. In the 21st century, emerged a modern trend to create a new architecture that relies on local natural materials by using modern technologies to produce new sustainable buildings material. These materials are characterized by new different qualities like durability, availability, reliability, and familiarity to their local environment and will enhance the local mental image of architectural style through the continuous usage of these natural materials. Here, the inherited experience of our ancestors in dealing with such materials over centuries should be relied on. This issue will need answers for the following. What are these natural materials? How they were used in traditional architecture? What are the new sustainable products and how we can use them? The word used different natural materials for buildings like stone, wood, etc. The famous Egyptian architect Hassan Fathi says, look under your foot and build. In Iraq, if we look around, we can see different natural materials. One of them is reeds. Reeds is an organic material that can be found in the marshes and can be used for construction with good water resistance. The task to build reed walls require less effort than building brick one and require less work skills. In addition, reed building does not need maintenance. But reed's usage inspires innovation in design and implementation that leads to a new sustainable environmental friendly building with good thermal insulation energy. If we consider eco-architecture is a design with environment, then the Mudir, this is some kind of a traditional building in Iraq, is an ideal model of this architectural type. The Sumerian civilization produced the ziggurats and surrounded the cities with agricultural areas to provide food in a sustainable manner. They were the first to produce the Mudir, a type of environmental architecture. It was built in the southern marshes of Iraq before 5,000 years, entirely from reeds. This is the Mudir, and this is how it was built through the ancient Iraqis in the southern marshes of Iraq. These are different views of the Mudir. Today, reeds can be reused around the world in modern, sustainable way. and in various forms as and purposes, like including roofing external spaces, wrapping building facades for providing thermal comfort, as in Edna Martin's project in Namibia. This is the traditional way of building Modif. Today, we can see it can be reused by modern techniques and modern people in the contemporary architecture for building outside shelters like this one, and for building facades like this one, and for other types of building for outer shelters like it have been made in Korea. And these are some examples of it. And this is the project of Nina Marquez in Namibia, which have been used as a method to provide thermal comfort through evaporating cooling. Like we can see it in this section of the building. Here we can find the detail referring to the reeds have been used as water evaporating method to provide thermal comfort for the residents in this African city. The second type of natural materials that can we find in Iraq is palm trees. These trees can be found in the Middle East in enormous numbers. Iraq has large quantities of date palms, reached to 17 million trees in 2060 and can be reached to 19 million trees in 2020. Date palm considered a renewable natural resource for it can be replaced relatively in short term. These trees produce large quantities of agricultural residues annually. A typical date tree generates about 20 kilos of dry leaves per annum. Some studies assume that Saudi Arabia, for example, generates more than 200,000 tons of biomass each year. So we can use palm tree fibers in a number of industries because of its reasonable mechanical strength, which is much greater than many materials such as aluminum. New products from natural materials has been emerged. It's called the wood plastic composite. This material characteristics close to natural hardwood in terms of physical and mechanical aspects. The world began to shift toward using these products as a relative to many natural materials, as used for it can be used for external parts of building exposed to climate conditions. It also considered a good way to get rid of large amounts of biomass and the plastic materials collected from landfills. By this way, we can obtain renewable, sustainable building materials with efficient economic way to produce an environmental friendly artificial wood. So we can use the raw materials of palm fabrics in addition to the abandoned wasted plastic materials that we can find in landfills according to our modern life style life. And we can produce the waste plastic composite that we can use it in different ways and in different parts of the buildings, especially for the furniture and the exterior and interior parts. So we can find many natural materials in Iraq to use it as a sustainable materials in producing a sustainable building and environmental friendly building. Thank you for the listening. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
I have finished the
presentation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentation.